2026 is set for a shake-up, with news US auto giant General Motors and TWG Global have reached an agreement in principle with Formula One for Cadillac to become an 11th team. It's expected Ferrari will initially power the squad, with Cadillac set to switch to its own works program by the end of the decade. F1's statement read, "Over the course of this year, they have achieved operational milestones and made clear their commitment to brand the 11th team GM Cadillac, and the GM will enter as an engine supplier at a later time." Mario Andretti, America's last world champion, will serve as a director on the team's board, though it's not yet known if his son Michael will have a role with the emerging operation. Sergio Perez's future with top squad Red Bull is set to be decided by the brand's shareholders following the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Checo scored a point for finishing 10th in the Las Vegas Grand Prix, but has banked just 9 in the last 5 races, compared to teammate Max Verstappen's 90, including a win in Brazil. Perez is 8th in the drivers' standings en route to Qatar, 7 places behind the Dutchman, who won his 4th straight title in Las Vegas. He's also 251 points adrift. And Red Bull are running out of patience with the Mexican. "It was a good drive from him, a good recovery," said team principal Christian Horner after Las Vegas. "But the problem is we're starting out of position on the day that McLaren were weak." Former Caterham driver turned pundit Guido van der Garde says that his countryman Max Verstappen unlocks a new higher level when he uses his dark side behind the wheel. The Red Bull pilot who lifted the crown with 5th place in Las Vegas last weekend has long been a razor-sharp racer. But van der Garde told official podcast F1 Nation that he's unstoppable once angered.
He's super talented, he's super fast. We know that he's in qualifying, the races, the race pace he has, it's super nice to see. But when he gets angry, there's something else. There's the line coming out, and he's performing even better. And that's quite nice to see.
McLaren's Lando Norris is already focused on 2025, following his title loss to Red Bull's Max Verstappen in Las Vegas, with the Brit stating he's excited to have a front-running car from round 1. Norris needed to outscore Verstappen in Las Vegas by just 3 points to keep the title alive to Qatar, but failed in his quest after he finished behind the Dutchman in 6th. Norris, though, admitted that the title chase was a long shot, given Red Bull's early season dominance, meaning that the runner-up spot in the drivers' standings was the more realistic goal. Could we have done some things better? Absolutely. Do I think we could have won the championship even with a perfect season? I don't. So I'm happy to finish 2nd, Norris said. Staying with McLaren, which arrived in Las Vegas with pragmatism, knowing not much could be done to prevent Red Bull rival Max Verstappen from securing his 4th straight world championship. Lando Norris's chances at lifting a maiden title were dealt a huge blow at the previous round in Brazil, where Verstappen won from 17th on the grid, and then sealed the deal in Las Vegas. But McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown knew it was coming.
I'm not concerned if they lose the championship this weekend. I think reality is where he is in the points. It's probably likely because Max doesn't need to do much to clinch the championship. But we're going to just do what we've been doing all year, which is head down and try and win every race, every weekend, and see where the chips fall.
Sauber's Valtteri Bottas has ruled out an immediate jump to a rival series like IndyCar or the World Endurance Championship, despite the Finn sure to be on Formula One's sidelines in 2025. Bottas was being considered for the 2nd Sauber seat alongside Nico Hülkenberg before rookie Gabriel Bortoleto was signed. but he's not yet ready to give up on F1, with rumors he'll return to his former silver team Mercedes as a test driver. Though he's not prepared to sit on the sidelines for long. I think that would be more realistic, that if I didn't find a seat in F1 during 25 or for 26, then I probably would switch from 26. But it's all these things that I need to kind of try and plan, he said. RB driver Yuki Tsunoda has revealed he was almost denied entry to the USA ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, with the 24-year-old detained at the airport for 3 hours. The RB driver, who had the right visa and no complications with previous American races this year, suspects it may have had something to do with how he was dressed. Tsunoda was rendered helpless once in the customs investigation room, with his traveling physio unable to join and explain who he was. They didn't allow me to bring them or even call anyone. I wanted to call the team as well, or maybe F1, so they can help me. But in that room, you can't do anything, he said. Alpine team boss Oliver Oakes says that the squad's decision to end its works efforts and become a Mercedes customer team from 2026 was cruel, but an important statement of intent for the future. Alpine has been 10 to 15 horsepower down on its power unit manufacturer rivals since the regulations were frozen back in 2022, locking the French marque into mediocrity as an also-ran. But Oakes told F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid that while the board-level decision was made before he arrived at Enstone, it was done in the medium to long-term interests of the team.
We're not here just to be making up the numbers, we want to be pushing forward, and I think I was pretty open, maybe too honest when I said, being selfish, I just want the best engine in the back of the car. At the end of the day, for me, we're here to go racing. I want to be at the front of the grid, I don't want to be walking to the back. And cruelly, the choice we made was to get the best engine in the back of the car and help the team keep climbing back up the grid.
Aston Martin has opened up on Dan Fallows' recent redeployment, with performance director Tom McCulloch stating the squad hasn't delivered on track to the level it expected this season. News from F1's Green Team hit earlier this month that Fallows had been dropped as technical director, though would remain with the wider group. Chatter from the team in Las Vegas confirmed that the Brit had in effect taken the fall for the squad's lack of competitiveness this season, despite Fallows' really big impact on the AMR 24's predecessors. The development of these cars has been hard, and ultimately it's a performance-based industry, isn't it? And the teams made the decision to make some changes, McCulloch said. Las Vegas Grand Prix CEO Renee Wilm has admitted that her team being given just 18 months to prepare for their inaugural street racing event in 2023 was kind of ludicrous. F1's third American race ran without a hitch this year, a contrast to 2023, when track issues with water valve covers threatened further running. But Wilm says those issues formed part of further learnings for year two, given the short lead time, and F1 working for the first time as promoter.
We knew how to put the hospitality together. We knew what the paddock club would be. We knew how to put a racetrack together. But some of the niceties around how you communicate, how you traffic plan, how you work with the commissioners and public works was just something we didn't have the right resources for in year one.
Haas's Ayo Komatsu has railed against the FIA's plans to hand Audi cost cap exemptions in 2026, given Switzerland's higher average wages, with the Japanese boss stating it's a very dangerous move. The FIA has tabled an amendment to the 2026 cost cap regulations, with the sport's governing body keen to accommodate both Swiss wage and OECD cost of living data to not disadvantage Audi's development. but the FIA's plans have so far been blocked by Sauber's 9 rivals. Where do you stop? Where do you draw the line? And if you look at those things, you have to look at all the social benefits and everything, Komatsu said. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.